Hi everyone, this is Shauna from shauna.plans on Instagram and here on YouTube. So today we are going to talk about last week's new releases from Pink Punch Studio. Rochelle, she released some really cool new spread templates. I don't even know. So I haven't even played with them yet. I've downloaded them, they're in my cloud. So I've got them here. So you can see these are all my Pink Punch things that I haven't made into sticker books yet. I'm falling behind. But she did these rose gold scene backgrounds. They're so cool. So you get 3 styles and each style has a different background. So there's black, white, and transparent. So why don't we start with playing with one? So I'm just gonna drag my menu up from the bottom and slide my goodnotes to one side here. And we don't need this so big. So let's just set that up. Okay, so I have not made today's daily yet. In a perfect world, I would make my dailies the night before, but I don't usually. Usually I kind of work on them on my lunch break. So there you go. Anywho, for us, that works out well because we can set up my daily using one of these desktop spreads that Rochelle's made for us. So the black one fills in and you just stretch it to cover your page. And look at that. You have a professionally decorated spread just like that, finished. Amazing. Okay, let's undo. Same thing with the white. I hope Rochelle makes more of these. On days when you are in a hurry, this is so easy. There we go. White desktop, done. The other thing I was thinking these would be good for is if you're using one of the monthly planners and there's a color in the palette that you just have the hardest time decorating around, then you could put one of those on top and it just covers up that color and you can have a nice fresh start. Yesterday I made this spread and it's funny because I actually matched the kit that I was using to the color of the desktop, but then I went and put this big matte PNG over top anyway because I thought it looked so pretty. I don't know if I've made a couple spreads now with this designer, just a little sense love out to her. This is Doodly Ruby. She's a fellow Canadian. She has a brand new shop and she has these beautiful vintage style stuff in it. So yeah, love her. You'll be seeing more of her stuff in my spreads to come. So back to today's spread and what we're actually talking about. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. This one is transparent, which I really like as well. And I was thinking, when I was sort of thinking about what I was going to talk to you guys about, that this rose gold would go really nicely with today's blue background in my planner. So that's the first layout that these desk scenes come with. The next one, I'm just gonna pull transparent over. So these all have the black and white. Here's the transparent and it's got the tablet horizontally with the iPhone on this side. The rest is the same. And then let's just pull this one over. This one has the tablet oriented portrait with the pins beside it instead of under it. So you've got 3 instant spreads just like that, ready to go. So I think I'm going to actually go back to the first style that has the open desktop. I'm gonna pull this in and put it on top. So let me know what you think of these pre-built spreads. And you can always share in the group if you love them, what other colors you'd like to see them in. Rochelle is amazing at responding to recommendations. So I can make this really big and just have the edges showing, or I can kind of make it smaller so it just fits. I'm just playing with it to decide how I want it. So I want a little bit more desk space. So let's put that down. Now, the other new thing that came out that I wanted to show you is the beige pockets. So like I said, I haven't made a sticker book yet for any of this stuff. So that's why I've got it open here. And I thought it would be nice to show you how you can plan right out of the cloud if you don't want to have a bunch of sticker books in your GoodNotes if it's starting to slow down or anything like that. So I already have the beige cover kit, which it came with these stickers, and I've made them into a sticker book. I always make a second page in my sticker book where I make a pre-made planner ready to go so I can just grab it. But we're going to play with the pocket, so I don't want to grab that one. So let's quickly put together a planner. Let's turn the images on, and I'm going to paste it down. Now, I typically don't like to build on top of a layer because it limits your ability to edit, but I've had a couple questions on ways to deal with that. So I thought maybe I'll leave it there and show you how I work around it. So I'm just going to grab one side of the paper and we're going to put a pocket on the other side. There we go. And then the cover kits come with 2 rings. So this one is basically, my planner is going to be open to the front page. So I only want the ring with the hole punch on one side. And I'm just trying to line it up. I don't want the hole punch to be over the bottom of the page where it shows like the different sheets. So we'll just put that there. And now we've got some pockets we can play with. So there's a bunch of different styles. Left pocket, right pocket. So I've already decided my right page is paper. So we're going to use left pockets. And you can see the reason that let me just bring both over. The reason that they're different is the shadow. You can see there's more of a shadow. Here, let's put it on the white. So there's more of a shadow on one side than the other. So for me, I'm thinking the shadow is where you would tuck your pages in if you wanted to make it look like there's something inside your pocket. So let's find some pages to tuck in. Now, I've already talked about Doodly Ruby, so let's just keep talking about her. And she's got some nice realistic looking pages that we can use. And of course, they're like the scrappy vintage style that I love so much. So let's see if we can find something we can tuck under. This might be fun. Actually, we'll do that on, we'll put this like, it looks like it's a page that came out of a book. So we're just gonna build some layers and decoration here. Oh, that one's pretty. Look at all the coffee stains. So what I'm looking for now is something that's kind of plain that I'll be able to decorate or put notes on or whatever. So I want some of the words in the tearing to show, and I want as much of this top of the page as possible. So now I'm going to just long press the sticker that I want, the left pocket, and drag it over, and then I can resize. and that's like a side pocket. I think you can also turn it. Oh, proportions are weird. No. So this one will give you an angle. I think I like the angle. And then there's this left pocket. 3. Oh, here we go. This one I think is more like what you would have at the bottom. Anyway, you can see there's lots of different ways you can use these. You can just do like a small pocket here for business cards. You can see all the different options. So I think I like this tall left pocket best. There we go, and we have our little pages sticking out. So I always put my little trackers on. I'm just going to copy this one from Tuesday because we have the same weather, so let's copy that. You can see here I took the background off it in Procreate and I only copied over the top layers and I put it on one of the little tabs. Oop. Undo. So there's lots of different options you can do with these daily checklists, and I'm going to show you how to make one hopefully this Sunday, sort of as, or maybe even Saturday as like a bonus video. We'll see when I get some time. Make it like a sticker there, or should we do it like with a binder clip? Let's go with that. So we got a busy desktop happening. We got 2 planners. It's an exciting day for us. Okay, so I'm done playing with the pockets, but before I go, I don't have a closed cover. But if I did, you can bring this little tab over. You can see we could make this one look like it has a beige tab to match, or you could put it here so it looks like the tab is sort of flipped over the page. Or even use this one. We would have to play around with the layers a little and just kind of layer that underneath, and then it'll look like it's just sticking out the side maybe. Anyway, there's lots of different things you can do with these pockets. My favorite is just to have the one side with the little pages sticking out. And I showed you a little bit how you can just drag and drop out of the cloud. If you don't want to use sticker books, you can still organize them in the cloud the same way I have my sticker books organized, or you can do them a different way that works for you. If you notice, all of the Pink Punch have really well named stickers, so that makes them really easy to find in the cloud. So I'm just going to close that side because I'm kind of done with it. And you can see I've already got my spread being built using these new pockets and this background. So I just need to fill in my date, my wins and gratitude boxes, and my to-do list, because those are the things that I always include on my daily spreads. I did have a question a while ago about wanting to see an after the pen spread. I don't usually share them because my wins and my gratitude are personal, and I don't usually have much to do on my to-do list. So there's not a lot to share on a daily spread after the pen. But just for an explanation, gratitude is, I like to note one thing every day that happened to me that was outside of my control that was wonderful. Something I was happy about that was just not within my control. Wins, on the other hand, is a success that I had that day that was completely within my control. Something that I pushed myself a little bit harder to get done. If I had an anxiety or a resistance to something and I pushed through and did it, I met a deadline. Those are my wins. Those are things that are totally within my control that I succeeded at that day. And I like to find one of those every day as well, because like everyone, oh, this is the perfect day for it because it's Belle Let's Talk Day. But like many people, I have anxiety. Initially, my worst anxiety was I hated driving. I was so anxious anytime I got behind the steering wheel. I'm good at being a passenger, but as soon as you put me behind the steering wheel, I would just lose it. Tears and vomiting, and it was awful. So a couple years, 3 years ago now, I took a full year of professional driving lessons. I found an instructor who I could work with. He was a little bit awkward himself, and he knew just when to push me a little harder and when to kind of let things relax a bit. And so after a year of driving with him, I took my test and I got my driver's license. So I've now had it for 3 years. So for a while there, a lot of my wins were driving related. I still struggle with having to drive past cars that are parked on the side of the road. Random, they're parked, they're not moving, they're just there. And I'm terrified that for some crazy reason, I'm gonna swerve and hit them. That's my issue, that's my struggle. Getting better every time I do it. Also scared of new parking lots. I will Google map them to see what they look like. I'll do drive-bys before I have to park. I've found ways to kind of mitigate the stress about it. But those are some things that I often will put in my wins. Yay, I parked here today. Yesterday, oh my gosh, this parking lot was horrible. I basically had to back out of it. There was not enough room to turn around. Anyway, so there's my little tangent for you. That's the kind of things I'll put in my wins. Right now with COVID, you know what? Sometimes my win is that I showered because I never leave my house. I work from home now. And yeah, so sometimes I'll admit it, that's a win for me. And I like to note that down, and one day I can scroll back if I'm having a bad day and I can say, look, see, I did this. And it helps me feel better about what I'm doing. So that's why I always have my wins and my gratitude, and I keep my planner, this planner that I use to do the videos is my kind of clean version, so I can scroll around in it, and then I copy the spreads to my real version where I fill in all my vulnerabilities. So that's why I always have wins and gratitude. And when I scroll through this, it's always blank because I'm not 100% comfortable sharing those things because sometimes they can be a little bit more than what I want to share. I'm putting them down for me. So that's just a little talk about my kind of after the pen and why you don't ever see it. I also could do after the pen for my work planner, but again, work stuff is confidential because I'm an accountant. So anywho, that's a great big old ramble for you, and hope you didn't mind my little tangent. So what I would normally do now with the spread is I would tilt this journal to make it look a bit more realistic. I don't always leave them perfectly straight, but with having this background on, it doesn't really work all that well. So I'm going to select the background. I'm just going to move it to the side right against the edge so it's still there, but it's not going to get in the way if I want to lasso and resize and tilt. So let's do that. We'll say resize. Now, we have a problem. I knew this would happen, but I thought I'd show you anyway. I can resize and tilt, but I have no idea how it's going to line up with this desktop because it's got all of those goodies on it, and it could look weird if I have it overlapping something the wrong way. So instead of resize and tilt, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to put this back over here. Do I want to show? I kind of feel like I want those sticky notes to show because we could put a little note there, but then I don't have much room for my planner. Okay, so now I put this back, and now I have that in my clipboard, so I can paste it down and now I can resize the whole grouping together and see how it's going to fit the best on this spread. Now, if I didn't like how it ended and I've already released it, I can undo, and it's still on my clipboard, so I can paste again and I can have another go at it and try something different if I wanted to. There you go. So with iPads, you can put one thing on your clipboard. So you have to be careful when you have something like that saved on your clipboard that you don't go and copy something else or cut something else, because then it's lost and all that work we did building it would be gone. So additionally, what you can do, what I have done, is I've gone and I've pasted it on the next page. If I want to mess around with some layers, I can do what I need to, and then I can pick it up and copy and then bring it over here and paste it down to somewhere. Okay, so I don't like where it dropped, so I'm going to paste and we'll try something else. So I know a lot of people complain about the layers with GoodNotes. They can be a little bit finicky, but there's lots of methods you can use to kind of get around that. So let's close all this up. We're done with this now, so we can delete it. And now just one last thing that I would do with this spread, because I'm mixing so many colors here. They're all the muted palette, which is nice, the rose, the blue, and the beige. But I want to tie this beige journal in a little bit. So let's go back to the Pink Punch folder, desk stuff, and let's just find one or two beige items that we can add to the spread just to make it look a little bit more like that beige planner belongs there. So this is from the binder clip kit. We can just stick a little binder clip in. What else do I have? I don't have a lot in muted beige, I don't think. So we've got some beige paper clips here. I'll paste a couple of those down in a little pile and see how we're sort of tying the colors. So we're using the decorations already pre-made, and I'm just tying in this other color that I introduced. I think that's about it for beige. The muted hollow might be a fun way to tie some stuff in also, but I think that's good. I don't want it to go too crazy because I like how it's already decorated. So there you go. We played with the new pockets. We played with these pre-built desktops. Before I completely sign off on you, I just want to talk about two more things. So if we were to use this spread, you would just paste on top of the phone and the iPad your stuff for today. I think the corners are rounded. Okay, let's deselect that. I'm just going to deselect that image by tapping the lasso just to switch tools, and that will make it stop moving around. So with this one, the colors are, the corners are rounded. So when you paste, if you pasted a square image in, you just have to make sure that you kind of go beyond that corner and it'll look natural. The older iPads had a square corner there, so it won't matter too much. And you can just paste whatever you want on top. What have I got in my camera roll? Talk about vulnerability, sharing my camera roll. Here we go. I saved this little Simon's cat meme the other day because I thought it was cute. I love you. And you can just line it up. And so even though we have rounded corners, you can't really tell. It still looks nice and sharp. So that's how you could use that spread. You can put your checklist, you can put a sheet of paper there. You can use, let me show you, the tablets and the cell phone overlay kits. If you have any of those, they come with these little notepads, so you could take one of these. And you can just paste it on. It's pretty much the worst color I could have chose. But you get the idea here what I'm doing, and you'll just resize it until it fits. I'm a little bit too big here. I need to make it smaller, but you get where I'm going with that. And then you can decorate them as you need. Now, if you were going to use the transparent one, you can do the same thing, putting it on top, which might be easier because trying to line something up underneath could be a little bit of a challenge, or a lot of a challenge with layering. You can see what I'm trying to do here. I just have to keep making this bigger. Oh, smaller. Until it lines up. One thing though, it doesn't have to line up quite as well because the borders will cover the edges. So you can see, but now my blue paper is not lining up. So there's a little bit of a challenge if you want to try to make it go underneath. Personally, I don't think I'd even try. I think that would be really hard. Well, that kind of worked. So I just moved it to the side. And now I know that it's on the lower layer already because I pasted it down first. So I can paste it on, it'll go underneath, and then I can grab the whole thing and shift it back. The nice thing about putting it underneath is you get that reflective, realistic look. It's just a little bit more fiddling. So it's up to you if you want to fiddle. It does make a beautiful effect if you can get it right. Yeah, okay, my throat's getting sore from talking so much. So I'm gonna sign off with that. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions, I love to hear them. If you check the description, I'm like totally out of it today. Sorry. If you check the description, I will link the main kits that I used in my video. And I think that's all I got for you today. So I will see you this weekend. We will try to fit in how to make the checklist in Procreate. And I'm going to do a spread with all Doodly Ruby stuff. We'll talk a bit more about her product. So I'll link all that in the description. And that's it for today. Take care. Bye.